Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of my tutorial video channel. In this video, I will discuss long-run equilibrium of the perfectly competitive firm under differential cost conditions. The difference between short run and long run is that short run is such a time period in which some factors are variable and some factors are fixed. The entrepreneur can change the output by varying the amount of variable factors while the amount of fixed factors remain unchanged. On the other hand, long run is such a length of a time period that allows free and full adjustment of all the factors, including variable and fixed factors. So, in the long run, the entrepreneur can change the output by changing all the factors. Right? In the context of discussion of long run equilibrium of the perfectly competitive firm under differential cost conditions, the concepts of intra-marginal firm and marginal firm come in. Marginal firm is that firm which leaves the industry first if price falls. The marginal firms have the highest cost among all the firms. The intra-marginal firms earn supernormal profit in the long run. Now, the equilibrium condition of long run equilibrium of the perfectly competitive firm under differential cost condition is that equilibrium conditions. Number one, price equal to marginal cost of all firms, and number two, price is equal to minimum average cost of the marginal firm. Right? The intra-marginal firms employ the most efficient resources available in the market, and the marginal firms deploy the least efficient resources available in the market. Now I shall draw two diagrams, one for the intra-marginal firms and the other for the marginal firm. And I am erasing this part. As I have said you a few seconds back that marginal firm is that firm which first leaves the industry when price falls. Now the diagrams. This is for intra-marginal firms and here we draw the diagram for marginal firms. Deploy most efficient resources, and the marginal firms deploy the least efficient resources as available in the market. Since the intra-marginal firms deploy the most efficient resources, their productivity is higher than the marginal firm. As a result, their costs are relatively lower compared to the marginal firms. Now, let us draw the diagrams. On x-axis we measure quantity, and on y-axis we measure price, AR, MR, AC and MC. Price, AR, MR, AC and MC for both the diagrams. Now price is determined in the industry by the interaction between demand and supply, and the individual firms have no say, they have no influence over the price, they are merely price takers. They simply adjust their marginal cost with the marginal revenue in order to find out the equilibrium quantity. So price is fixed in the industry. Let the price be P sub 0. This is P sub 0. The price is fixed in the industry, and there, that means in the industry it can either rise or it can fall. Whatever be the price, that price is accepted by the individual firms. Now this is the long run marginal cost curve of the intra-marginal firms, and this is the long run marginal cost curve of the marginal firms. This is AR, MR. This is AR equal to MR. That is horizontal straight line parallel to the x-axis. Here the MR and MC intersect at this point. So equilibrium quantity is, say, Q sub I for intramarginal firm. And let this be the average cost curve, that is long run average cost curve of the intramarginal firms. You can see that the average revenue curve lies above the average cost curve, hence the intramarginal firms are earning supernormal profit. Let this point be K, this point be L, and let this point be M. So the amount of supernormal profit is equal to the area of this rectangle, that is P sub 0 K L M. So supernormal profit is equal to P sub 0 K L M. Now marginal firms have highest costs among all the firms playing in the market, and this is the average cost curve, long run average cost curve of the marginal firm. MR and long run marginal cost curve and the marginal revenue curve intersect at this point. Let this point be P, and you can see that the marginal revenue curve is tangent to the long run average cost curve at the latter's minimum point, which is also a point of the long run marginal cost curve. Long run marginal cost, any marginal cost curve, whether long run or short run, intersects the average cost curve at the latter's minimum point. So it is the minimum point of the long run average cost curve. You can see the average cost and average revenue curve. Average revenue curve is tangent to the long run average cost curve. That means price is equal to the minimum average cost, which is equal to MR and which is equal to MC. Let this be Q sub M. M stands for marginal firms. So in the long run, equilibrium in the market is established. Equilibrium conditions: number one, P is equal to MC, marginal cost of all the firms, and number two, P is equal to minimum point of the long run average cost curve of the marginal firm. Right? The intra-marginal firms are deploying most efficient resources. As a result, their productivity is higher related to the marginal firms, and the marginal firms are deploying the least efficient resources, so their productivity is lower relative to the intra-marginal firms, and as a result, the costs of the intra-marginal firms are lower than the costs of the marginal firms. Now, what will happen if the price is more than the minimum average cost of the marginal firm? If price is more than the minimum average cost of the marginal firm, if this happens, that means the firm is earning supernormal profit. So new firms with similar or lower cost than the marginal firm will enter the industry. As a result, production in the industry will rise, which would in turn increase the supply, and ultimately price will fall. And this process will go on till price becomes equal to the minimum point of the long run average cost curve. On the other hand, if price is less than the minimum point of the long run average cost curve of the marginal firm, then what will happen? Then some firms will quit the market, because long run is a sufficient time when firms can enter or quit the market. So if the price is less than the minimum point of the long run average cost curve, then some firms will quit the market. As a result, production would fall, supply would fall, and as supply falls, price would go up, and ultimately this process will go on till the price becomes minimum of the long run average cost curve. Correct? So a firm in the perfectly competitive market, in the long run, under differential cost conditions, are in equilibrium when the intra-marginal firms earn supernormal profit and the marginal firm or marginal firms earn only normal profit, and the price is equal to the marginal cost of all the firms and is equal to the minimum of the long run average cost of the marginal firm. Now, one thing you must appreciate, that the marginal firm is actually operating with optimum plant capacity. Why? Because the marginal firm is operating at the minimum point of the long run average cost curve, whereas the intra-marginal firms are operating at more than optimum size. Why? Because you see, they are not running at the minimum point of the long run average cost curve, rather at some higher point of the long run average cost curve. So the marginal firms in the long run operate with the optimum plant size, and all the intra-marginal firms in the long run would operate at a plant size which is more than optimum. Correct? So this is all about long run equilibrium of the perfectly competitive firm under differential cost conditions. The price is equal to the minimum average cost of the marginal firm, so the marginal firm will earn only normal profit, and all the intra-marginal firms would earn supernormal profit in accordance with their cost structure. Correct? Yeah. So far so good. This is all about long run equilibrium of the perfectly competitive firm under differential cost conditions. I hope this is well understood by you. Still, should you have any doubt in your mind, if you have any question, If you need further insight into the topic, into the subject, please let me know through the comment box. I shall be glad to respond to all your relevant queries. If you think this video is beneficial for you, please do share the video with your friends, brothers, sisters and colleagues so that they can also derive benefit by watching this video. And finally, thank you very much for your precious time. Stay well and goodbye.